G'day everyone and welcome to Flock. I am your host, Lyle Swithenbank. This is a New Orleans Pelicans podcast, broadcasting from Perth, Western Australia. It is great to be back. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button below, leave a comment, because today is all about Media Day. What I want you to put down in the comments is, what do you want to see from Media Day? And then we'll have a look and see if we line up. Remember, you can also follow us on Twitter at Lyle Swithenbank. You can listen to the audio version of this podcast on Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, wherever you can listen to podcasts, we are there. So, Media Day. We are about a week away. Of course, it's earlier than normal because the Pelicans will be coming down to Melbourne in Australia in about 2 weeks, which is really exciting for Aussie Pels fans and Aussie NBA fans as well, right? It's the first time an NBA team has played a game in Australia, and we get to see how our Melbourne-based NBL teams are going to go against, one of the top 30 teams in the world. Well, out of the best league in the world as well. So, really exciting time and a real milestone for the NBL and Australian basketball as a whole to have the honour of hosting an NBA team. So before we get to that, of course, we've got Media Day. We have training camp. The guys have got to be ready to rock and roll because essentially what it means is that there's some extra travel. It's about 18 or 19 hours to get from New Orleans to Melbourne, having done a couple of similar flights throughout the journey, but in reverse and then back. It also means that, as Joe Dumas has talked about previously on the Saints broadcast in one of the preseason games, is that you have to give the guys 2 days off after trips like that. So it means that you're actually losing a couple of days on the back end for the guys to be ready. But that aside, it's going to be a great weekend of basketball in Melbourne, and I'm not going to be disgruntled at all. I'm going to really enjoy getting over there and catching up with a whole heap of you, as well as watching the Pels live again. I mean, twice in 1 year. Who would have thought? What a treat! What a treat for us Aussie Pels fans. Now, Media Day. What do I want to see? This Media Day, I think, is pretty important. This is Joe Dumas' first Media Day since he was appointed. Troy Weaver as well as director of basketball or whatever he is, the GM. This is their opportunity to control the narrative. We've had a really quiet off-season. It has been one of those ones that the Pelicans have gone almost radio silent. We get the odd Twitter update and a couple of highlights and what are the guys doing in the off-season. But there hasn't been any behind-the-scenes type looks. There hasn't been any great big announcements. No, where's Zion? What's he up to? We've seen a couple of snippets of him. He looks to be in good health. Touch wood, of course. And besides that, we've got a little bit of DeJounte Murray dunking the ball on his recovery from his Achilles. But nothing that really screams, we're going to have to deal with this, right? That there's some lingering issue with the team. We've got the new guys added in, Looney, Sadiq Bey, Jordan Poole. We've seen a little bit of them in their off-season. But it looks like it's basketball focused. And that's what I want to see from Joe Dumas. Now, of course, as a general manager or a president of basketball operations, he's going to come in and he's going to be quite to the point. I think from what we've seen with him in the previous interviews with him, he is straight to the point. His expectation is what it is. It's at a high level. If you don't meet it, well, that seems to be the sticking point. It's okay not to meet the expectation, but if you don't, well, then we can get you out of here. And if you're not all the way in, then you can go. And he didn't say it in a malicious way in these previous interviews, but I think we're going to get more of an iteration of that. And I think he's going to be saying all the right things. The guys are bought in. They're ready to play. They're hungry to, repent on the sins of last year. Zion's hungry. He's the face of the league. And that's what I want to hear. I want to hear a statement to the fans and to the wider NBA that these guys are ready to go, they're hungry, and they're going to play some tough defense and an exciting brand of basketball. We've got all the talent to do it. And I think, if anything, this is the year that you have to make a move. You have to be ready to go. You have to hit the ground running, because we've talked about it in previous episodes. If you don't, you're going to get left behind in the West. And we also don't have a first-round draft pick, so you can't be bad. We're going to have to start selling assets off to get some draft picks in. Now, I think he's going to go hand in glove with Troy Weaver. That two interviews, I imagine they'll both be speaking, have to be aligned. He's brought in Troy. I think Troy has made a number of decisions so far that are all DC-based and Wizards-based and previous relations that he has delivered. And I think he has to really set a tone, as well as one of the senior leaders in this team, that this is the expectation and we're not going to have a repeat of last year. Judging on the Saints' start, they've lost two games to start at the time of recording this. You have an opportunity now with a rebuilding Saints team to really grab hold of New Orleans and that fan base. Give them something to go and cheer for, because New Orleans love sport. They love going and watching live sport, supporting their team, if you give them something good to watch. So that has to be goal number one, is putting something watchable and successful on the court. And I think the shift in direction that we've gone this year, you build completely around Zion, you bring in shooters, you bring in big wings. All of that is beneficial to change the mentality of this team and I suppose put something on the court that we can enjoy. Jordan Poole, even on a bad game, is still launching threes from, halfway up the court. That's entertaining. He's a live wire, excitement player. Zion, we know what he's like. You've got a lob threat or, a guy that can break down defenses like Jordan Poole on the ball. That's really exciting. That adds to more watchability. You've got Looney who can get rebounds. The defense, Herb will be back. Trey's going to be back. We've got a real opportunity here to make some noise, and I genuinely am excited to see what that narrative is that they come out with to control. Now, the most interesting interview that I think is going to be almost make or break, and potentially his last one, depending on results, is Willie Green. He'll be heading into his 5th season. This is his last season of his extension. He had that hidden extension a little while ago, if you recall, which was announced a year after it had already started. He has to show clear direction. We know, we've watched enough Willie Green interviews to know what to expect. We're going to see a lot of buy-in, good group of guys. We're going to play the right way. We're going to play with force. We're going to do 0.5. But I actually want to see a step beyond that. I want to see some critical thinking as to what his intentions are for this team. Playing with force, I think every team has to play with force. I don't think there's a team that says, oh no, we're going to play soft and not bother playing hard. I don't agree with that. 0.5, that is a mentality. Yeah, move the ball quickly. I think that is a league-wide thing. I don't think there's many players or teams that the ball sticks at. And even when we were playing 0.5 offense, we didn't really. What I need to see is a change in mentality that I've let go of the ropes and let James Borrego put his offense in. I trust the guys on the defensive end to implement their defense. And I'm going to control the pieces as the head coach. The head coach is a politician. They need to control what the fans are saying. They need to control what the players are saying. They need to manage a go-between between management and the players and the fans. And the success rests on your ability to connect with the players and get them to be successful. If you're unable to do that, which so far you haven't won anything, then unfortunately it may be time to make a change. Now, Joe Dumars has given you the benefit of the doubt. He's going to let you fail, right? He's going to let you fail or he's going to let you succeed. He's giving you the opportunity. based on what I've seen or what we've seen to date, he wants them to play a certain way. He has a certain expectation. If you're not meeting it, then he'll get rid of you. I don't think he'll ever hesitate on doing that. So, for Willie, we need a plan. And we need a conscious decision to deliver what this team is going to stand for, an ethos. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see any of this wishy-washy, we get the guys together, we're all looking really good. No, I want an ethos of what this team is going to stand for, how they're going to play, and of course, in due time, that will become apparent. But you need to be intentional with your coaching this year. And this is the next step for him, is becoming an intentional leader of men that is able to inspire these players to be successful. And that's, I think, not too much to ask, given you've had a bit of leeway and lead up to become a fairly experienced head coach now. So, shifting from, I suppose, the personnel and the non-players, what do we want to see from the players this year at Media Day? Firstly, I want Zion to walk out healthy. I want him to come out and show that he's now the face of the franchise. He's going to get asked some tricky questions. He's had some off-field sort of indiscretions that are, alleged indiscretions that have been lingering, earlier on where he had his court case, which has gone quiet. Hopefully that's been resolved in a civil court case. And I think his focus needs to be purely on basketball. What is he going to deliver as the face of this franchise? I don't need to hear any more of this. Oh, this is where I want to be. We're done with that. You've signed your contract. You're here. You're under control of the Pelicans. Now it's time to deliver your end of the bargain and lead from the front. I think this is probably genuinely the first time that the keys have been given to him specifically. I know we had Drew Holiday being given the keys. We had Brandon Ingram, of course, and of course injuries and maybe maturity were part of that in previous seasons. CJ McCollum as well, of course, being that leader in the room, has maybe detracted from that as well, of Zion having to stand on his own 2 feet and speak on behalf of the team. This is what takes you from being a great player to one of those real A-graders. One of those guys that say, I need you as the face of the franchise. This is your team. And the wins and losses rely on your contribution. We know when he plays, he's phenomenal. Completely unguardable. There's no question on talent. There is question on injury history, of course. There's been questions on maturity. This is your year to say, this is my time. This is Pelicans' time. And I'm ready. I know in previous iterations of Media Day, we've had jokey Zion, we've had serious Zion, we've had people have been talking about me Zion, we've had teaspoons just been let go, who was my confidant Zion. What I want to see is I'm ready to go Zion. Not I'm out for revenge, I'm not out to do this, it's not the vibe. I'm locked in. I'm ready to play with the guys. Let's win some basketball. That's where I want this to head. And I genuinely hope there's no surprise at this Media Day. I know we've had them before. I genuinely hope we're rolling in, locked in, ready to go. And it starts in Melbourne when they come out and just flog Melbourne and Melbourne United. That's what I want to see. And Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. Nextly, I suppose, Zion is his running mate, and that's Trey Murphy this season. He's become a really good spokesperson of the league and of the Pelicans. Very well-spoken young man, great player, and one of those players that everyone's starting to call about. We're seeing these rumours pop up. That means that you're important around the league. Denver, Warriors. No doubt the Lakers are probably sniffing about. They're all wanting a bit of Trey Murphy because he shoots threes like a madman. He's 6'10", he's athletic, and he looks like the second coming of Rashard Lewis, Paul George hybrid. He's got that X factor. And I think this year is the year that he could become 1B to Zion. I genuinely think that those two playing together are unstoppable force because they can do everything. I think Trey's going to be the ultimate professional as he is. He usually gives good answers. He's well considered. I don't have any concerns for Trey. I just want an update on his shoulder. Hopefully that's all been resolved. Haven't heard anything as to how far off he is. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Trey Murphy play this year. I really am. I think he is destined and poised to take another step and become that guy that's got the guaranteed role and he's ready to go. Next starter, Herb Jones. Another guy coming off shoulder surgery. Update on that. Hopefully all good. It looks like the guys have been training and the like from the photos they've shown. I want to see Herb recapture his best. He's a man of few words. I hope we hear about his fishing trips, and I hope we hear about how he's been in the gym all summer, getting that shoulder right, getting back to his best, his first team all defense, best non-center player in the league. Genuinely, Herb Jones is the catalyst on our defensive end. I think he has another level to go on the offensive end. I suppose it's role specific, but he can do everything. And I think he could be really, really handy coming into this season and another important piece of the jigsaw of unlocking Zion and unlocking this Pelicans team. It starts on defense, then let's get out and run. We get some transition threes, let's get some lobs, let's attack the paint. Starts on that defensive end, and Herb Jones is the head of the snake. Next up, Jordan Poole, new addition. Averaged about 20 points last year. Shot a bucket load of threes. He's nearly 40% shooter from three. Absolute gun at his best. He's won championships at the Warriors. He's carried teams in Steph Curry's absence. Got traded out to the wasteland that is Washington. Is going and getting this player from the Wizards a bit of an olive branch from Troy Weaver saying, yeah, that was not a great situation for you. Come here and let's ball. I want to hear from Jordan Poole. I don't watch many of his interviews ever in the previous in his previous roles at other places. I don't watch other media days. I just watch Pelicans. I want to see what he's about. I think he's a talented player, but what is his personality like? Is he a jovial sort of guy? What does he have, that killer instinct? Those are things that you can start to attain by the way they answer questions. So I suppose it's a watch and see for this guy. Looney, I think, is going to be a professional. I don't have any concerns with his. I think he's going to just talk about getting the locker room in ship shape, getting rebounds, setting screens, doing everything to make the team better. I have no concerns with that. Yves Missi is going to be talking about Cameroon and playing in the Afro basket. Had a great run there, played really, really good. Big steps for him this year. I'm looking forward to them. They'll probably get 5 or 6 minute interviews. I don't think these are going to be that long for that. DeJounte Murray is probably a guy that I hope will be at Media Day, and no doubt it seems to be that he's engaged as a player, even though he's injured, and has been, he called the rookies when they were drafted, and he's been involved. He was down at Summer League. He might be a fast healer. He could be back sooner rather than later. Of course, these Achilles injuries are brutal. They take about a year and a bit to get back to your best. Probably 8-9 months before you're fully feeling yourself, and then trusting it to do everything is probably another 6-7 months. I want to see how he's going to contribute while being injured. I mean, he's a voice in the locker room. I think he's got Zion's ear. I think the guys respect him. I hope that the year that he had last year is behind him. It sounded like the worst year ever. It's well documented how tough those struggles were. I hope he can get back without an issue with that Achilles. And he just says, yep, I'm on track. I'll be back in, a couple of months. As soon as I can, But in the interim, I'm going to be doing this with the guys. I'm going to be teaching them this. I'm going to be leading from the front. And that's all I can ask. That's all you can do from an injured guy. Overall, those are sort of the guys that we're looking forward to hearing from. The rookies, probably finally. I want to get an update on Derek Queen's hand. He was 12 weeks when it was going to be reviewed, so that was taking you around the end of October. Hopefully that's still on track. I saw the picture, he still had the brace on, but he was looking in good nick, which is really, really good to see, because that's part of the stuff that you can do with a broken hand, is you can run and get your athleticism up and get that conditioning tip top. And Jeremiah Fears, I think he's going to give a great press conference. He has done some good interviews so far. He's doing the bit of the press tour. He's a live wire, and he brings a bit of X factor and a bit of that grit that perhaps we haven't always consistently had. I think guys at times have had it, Jose, Najee, guys like that. Brandon Ingram has a bit of that in him. But I think Jeremiah Fears being the point guard and having that real bark to him, I like that. I think that is something that is going to be infectious. Zero Fears. Gosh, it's an easy brand to really lean into. So I'm looking forward to that as well. Now, in summary, this is an important media day. This is where you set the tone for the season. This is where you come out and you say, enough is enough. 21 wins last year was not acceptable. We've had a change of direction, a change of leadership. The old regime's out, the new one's here. This is the expectation, and this is what we're going to deliver. What I want to see is people meeting that expectation. People rising to the occasion and knowing that this is going to be a tough year. The league is really, really tough. And there's got to be a little bit of luck. The injury bug, it circles every year. Every team in the West near on has got better. There's no nights off. You have to be really, really competitive against the East Coast, which has sometimes tripped us up. And you've got to be even more competitive against these West Coast teams. You can't let go of the rope in any of these games. Closing games, executing the game plan, these are all important things. And I'm hoping that the media day, as you can probably see, I'm up and about. I'm excited about this season. I'm hanging out for Pels basketball. I really am. Now's the time for us to make a move and really show the hard-nosed, talented Pelicans team that we know that we've got on paper. There's plenty of talent on this team. I think you'll be able to win games. You're going to win more than 21. I want to see them deliver it now. And it starts at media day. The new season kicks off. It's winning time. Do we win a championship this year? Probably not. There's better teams than us. But I want to see a steady improvement. I want to see what the talent on the paper could do. And if not, well, we pivot and we deal with a different timeline next year. But this year, let's try to win as many games as possible and have a fun year. That's what I'm excited about. So, I think I'm going to leave it at that. Again, if you have anyone that you want to see at Media Day, put it in the comments below. Shoot us a text or a tweet at Lyle Swithenbank. I'm on Twitter. I'm on TikTok, Blue Sky, and of course YouTube. And I appreciate you listening in and spending your half an hour with me as we talked about the Pels and what we want to see from Media Day. So, this has been Flock, a New Orleans Pelicans podcast. Like and subscribe below. Follow us on Twitter. Listen to us on your podcast app. Make sure you hit that download button. And I'm going to say, stay safe. And of course, bye for now.